Hi, Dr. Nancy Zare with FollowUp Fundamentals, and this is going to be fun. Can you tell from the balloons? The fun is that I get to interview the queen of the Magic Kingdom, which is Amy Flores Young. Amy is a member of our group. So, Amy, tell us more about what you do.
Hi, I wish I was the queen living in that castle. I am a concierge family travel planner. I create magical memories for everyone. I bring the pixie dust and you just pack and go. So I not only do, obviously, Disney travel is my specialty, but I also do European ancestry travel. So if you're looking to get back to your roots, I do customized itineraries to kind of behind the scenes and the smaller villages and places genealogy wise you might want to go, not just the big tourist traps of the European market.
So I'm curious, how many times personally have you gone to Disney?
Florida. Florida, probably over 30. California, 12. And we've been to Disneyland Paris as well. We have not
See?
quite made it over to the Asian market, but hoping once all the kids are out in college that I will make that trip on my own over there.
That is so exciting. Now, obviously during this time period, many people have canceled their travel plans. It's very challenging to travel. But you know what's happening? The desire is building and building and building. So, Amy, tell us what it is we should be doing now to get ready.
Yes, so it's interesting that you say the desire is building and building. I read in one of our trade newsletters the term, and I didn't love the term, but it made me chuckle, revenge travel. That people are going to rebel and travel because they've been told they can't for so long. So they're calling it the revenge travel movement. And I do believe that it will take some time, and we all understand that, but that travel will be bigger and better than ever. And that our role as travel service providers and travel planners will be valued on a whole different, on a whole different level than maybe they were previously. Because when people get stuck or aren't sure where to go or aren't sure how things are going to happen moving forward, that's where we really come into play. So right now, what you should be doing is really dreaming and thinking of where you want to go and prioritizing, like, okay, yes, this is realistic and this is where we want to go, and planning to make it happen. It's never too early to start the planning process. And I can share a few examples. For the Disney type, which even though the parks aren't fully open here in America yet, but they start booking out dining reservations 6 months in advance. So if you think, oh, we've got 3-4 months, plenty of time, by the time you book, you might be really disappointed that the hot, big character events and dining things are already going to be full. Another upside of planning early is, for example, cruise lines. The cheapest deals with the best availability occur when cruise lines open. The date the sailing opens for booking. As things get closer, they get more expensive. Where you would think as things get closer, they get cheaper to fill the rooms. That's not necessarily how cruise lines work. So planning ahead and just being prepared, it's never too early. And setting a realistic budget, I think, is a big thing. I get a lot of phone calls and emails with, like, how much kind of would it be if we wanted to do this? And then they're either shocked by the price, and then they're really disappointed because they can't make it happen. So it's much more fun and easier and more beneficial working with me to have a budget up front. Know what's realistic, know what you want to invest in your memories and in your package, and then I can get you the biggest bang for your buck going that way.
So as people are listening, I hope you're understanding that planning in advance has its advantages, and absolutely using a travel agent who understands the ins and outs is essential in order for you to imagine and enjoy that once in a lifetime trip that creates memories that you and your family will be recalling years and years hence. So absolutely, you want to connect with it, with a travel agent, and someone who's done as much traveling to Disney as Amy is definitely the person to go to. But there's one other reason why you need to consider Amy, and that is because Amy understands traveling with people with limited mobility. Would you explain that to us?
Sure. Of course, travel agents, pretty much any travel agent can book anywhere in anything, but we all have our specialties. And one of my kind of superpower specialties is planning travel for people with disabilities, special needs, any special accommodation or consideration. I am a parent of a 20-year-old with severe cerebral palsy. She's traveled all over the United States, Europe. She's been there, done that, cruise lines, the whole bit. So not only have we learned so much by doing, I've also, like Nancy said, when you plan for others, you learn all the ins and outs. So anything from, I do a lot of work now with dietary restrictions, which of course is a big thing in the United States. Allergies and dietary needs are not handled the same way in other countries as they are here. So that's huge. And limited mobility, especially with multi-generational trips. The grandparents want to go with the parents and the kids and make it a big, fun thing. Not everybody has the same energy level. And the same interests also. Some people like to nap early, some people want to eat late. So being able to do those custom itineraries and make sure everyone's needs are met, that's really my passion. I got into this, like it used to be like a little hobby, and now it's my full business, because I was so disheartened to hear so many travel stories of people who just didn't have a great time or had a hiccup that kind of ruined everything. The wheelchair didn't fit, or they got to a location and they didn't have transportation that was accessible. They just, again, in America or in bigger cities, you assume eventually you're going to find a taxi that has a ramp. A lot of other places don't have those benefits that we have. So that's really what's grown my passion and drawn to it. And I look at travel planners as you hire a specialist and a professional in almost any other area of investment, whether it's your car, your house, your lawn, things like that. And travel is a significant expense, and when we understand that, and you want someone who can, like Nancy said, who's done it over and over again, who can really get you, make your investment worth it.
Right. Well, Amy, I want to thank you for being on. And as we close, one last question, and this is not a question we rehearsed, so I'll be curious to hear the answer in terms of what you have to say. But how have you benefited from being in Fundamentals, Follow-Up Fundamentals?
I love the group and obviously the premise. And Nancy and I have talked online too, especially that a lot of the things that have come up in Fundamentals, I kind of had in place already. But being in the group, not only meeting other professionals and small businesses looking to grow has been fun and very interesting. It reignites the importance to follow up. Does that? Yeah, it reignites. Like, yes, keep doing it. It works. It's what you're supposed to be doing.
The fortune is in the follow-up. So, Amy, I want to thank you for for being in the group, and I want to thank our listeners for listening to your sales success. It's Dr. Nancy Zare.